Following the advice that everyone else follows will give you the life that everyone else lives. Following the advice that you've been following has given you the life that you've been living. Okay, and if we're being completely honest, right, what does that look like? You don't have that many friends, you're not attracting that many girls, you don't care about the work that you're doing, you're not that healthy, you're not that happy, people don't treat you that well, you're not really enjoying life that much. It sounds horrible. I sound like an absolute twat. Of course I do. But if we're being completely honest with ourselves, that is the reality of your life. That is the reality of most people's lives. That was the reality of my life until about a year ago. Now, it is human nature to want to feel important and valued and respected and even superior, right? And so what this means is people will mindlessly regurgitate absolute bullshit advice that has been fed to them throughout their entire lives without ever really questioning it or validating for themselves if it's really effective. They will spout this random advice at you without having actually tested in their own lives whether it's good advice or not. Now, this doesn't mean they're bad people. We all do it sometimes. It's just because we want to feel important, right? If we have advice to offer someone that they didn't already know, if we have advice to offer someone, that means we have some sort of, intellectual superiority. If we can help them out, that makes us feel good about ourselves, even if we're not actually helping them. And since I've given up listening to the sort of common advice that everyone gives you, since I've given up listening to the advice of unsuccessful people, my life has become significantly better. I've made a ton of friends, people enjoy talking to me, I'm respected, I feel valued, I've started attracting girls, I've switched to a line of work that I'm genuinely passionate about, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm living a good life. Okay? And so what is my advice for making that transition to where we were, where everyone else is, where I've been because I followed that shit advice, and where you are because you've been following that same advice, making the same mistake that I and everyone else has been? How do we make that transition from you being there to where I am now? Well, you have to stop following the advice of unsuccessful people. Like, why are you following the advice of someone if they're not living the exact life that you want to be living? It makes no sense. Why would you follow the advice of someone if following why would you follow the advice of someone who doesn't have the life that you want to live? Because them following their own advice is what's gotten them to where they are. Only follow someone's advice if they actually have some aspect to their life that you want. So what is my advice? Find someone who's absolutely dominated, conquered some area of their life, and only take their advice. The time when I really saw growth in my life is when I stopped listening to this really popular, widespread modern narrative and all this wholesome advice of looks don't matter, money doesn't matter, it's okay to be naturally shy and not do anything about it. If you want to attract girls, just be nice. People should love you for you without you needing to provide any value in a relationship, and only compete against yourself. This is just a few very damaging examples of modern, really wholesome advice that I can think of. The time that I saw the most growth in my life is when I stopped listening to this wholesome advice and actually just picked one guy who I genuinely trusted and only followed his advice. That is when I saw the very most growth in my life. That was the only time I ever saw any growth in my life. Okay, now it is understandable why we want to follow this wholesome advice. It is completely understandable because it feels nice. As people, we're resistant to change, right? And so it feels nice for someone to stand in front of you and tell you that it's all okay. You don't have to change anything. It feels nice, it feels secure, you feel that you're okay as you are. And it's an amazing feeling, of course it is, but though it feels nice short term, this will stop you from making any real change longer term. And so it will stop you from actually improving your life and therefore reaching the kind of life that you really want to live, because you're not there, are you? That's why you're watching this video. If you found this video helpful, if you appreciate my brutal honesty, please subscribe. I post free content like this every single day, just trying to spread the wisdom that's helped me so much in my life with as many people as possible. Thank you for watching.